Imagine no possessions.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today, we're counting down our picks for the moments where celebs tried to be just like us and failed.
Mom puts us to work. We planted a lot of lavender. She made us get on our hands and knees for the garden.
Number 10, guessing grocery prices. Bill Gates. It's hard enough for a millionaire to relate to the rest of us, let alone a billionaire. During the Ellen DeGeneres show, Bill Gates played a game with one objective, correctly guessing the prices of groceries.
What do you think?
$4. No, they want me to go higher.
Yeah.
Between estimating $5 for a box of Rice-A-Roni and $10 for a pack of Tide Pods, it was clear he hadn't stepped inside a store for a long time.
I mean, it's one banana, Michael. What could it cost? $10?
While it's understandable that he wouldn't know the exact prices, some of his guesses were so far off that the audience had to help him. The response was mixed. Some found it hilarious, while others were less than impressed.
It's branded. You know, you guys think less than $10?
Yes. Yes.
At the very least, Gates maintained a positive attitude, showing that he was very aware of his lack of knowledge. Number 9, scratching an itch on sacred rocks. Jennifer Lawrence.
Where were these rocks? Were they kind of on the coast? Were they in the mountains?
We were filming in Hawaii, and there were sacred rocks, and they were, I don't know, their ancestors, who knows.
At one point, she was the queen of relatable celebrities. But perceptions can shift with a misjudged anecdote. Lawrence told a story on the Graham Norton show about her time working in Hawaii. The cast was filming by ancient sacred rocks that were forbidden to sit on, and she decided to ignore this so she could scratch an itch.
Oh my God, they were so good for butt itching. Just be like, oh!
This caused stones to tumble down, endangering the crew. Needless to say, few found her anecdote to be particularly charming.
Let's have a big hand for our very first volunteer, Katniss Everdeen.
She was called out for not only disrespecting local beliefs, but framing the situation as comedic. Thankfully, she did apologize. Number 8, cutting a cucumber. Kendall Jenner. While it isn't surprising that someone raised in wealth wouldn't be a culinary genius, you'd think they'd still have some basic cooking skills.
Do you want the chef to make you a snack?
I'm making it myself. Just gotta chop up some cucumber.
During an episode of the Kardashians, Kendall Jenner decided to make herself a snack, rather than have the chefs prepare her one. She even mentioned how easy the process would be. She then proceeded to pull out a cucumber and cut it in a most bizarre way.
I'm not a good cutter, so don't zoom in on me. I'm not professional whatsoever.
The way she both held and used the knife made some question whether she had ever used one before. While she was good-natured about the ribbing she received from it, it was another instance of how disconnected she could be.
Some fans took to social to call out what they perceived as a kitchen nightmare. One says, watching Kendall Jenner cut a cucumber is one of the most painful things I've ever seen.
Number 7, comparing quarantine to jail. Ellen DeGeneres. The beginning of the pandemic was tough for many, especially those who had to continue working or were locking down in smaller spaces. A lot of people online were able to relate to one another, but then celebrities tried complaining about it as well. And among the celebs, Ellen DeGeneres stood out.
I miss all the things I used to complain about. I'd give anything right now to be stuck behind a Corolla trying to make a left-hand turn.
She released a video discussing her thoughts about the crisis and cracked a joke about how quarantining was comparable to being in jail. Her saying this from her vast multi-million-dollar mansion was not well received.
This is what you do when you're home and you have nothing to do. You work out, you get in the gym, and then you look at this TV show that makes you happy.
She was immediately called out for it, leading her to quietly delete the video and pretend it never happened. Unfortunately for her, the internet never forgets.
Since I'm here, I've had a lot of time to sit and think. Sorry, I meant sit and drink.
Number 6, opining on the pandemic. Madonna.
That's the thing about COVID-19. It doesn't care about how rich you are.
Different stars had varying responses to the spread of the coronavirus. While some complained about lockdowns, others tried to put an optimistic spin on the ordeal. Early on, Madonna added her 2 cents to the situation. She posted a video explaining that she saw the pandemic as an equalizer.
What's terrible about it is what's great about it. What's terrible about it is it's made us all equal in many ways.
She was attempting to make a fair point about how anyone could get sick, regardless of who they were in society. But she didn't take into consideration how some would have better access to healthcare than others, or that some would be at higher risk. Her saying this from a rose petal bath in her undoubtedly expensive bathroom annoyed people even more.
I know you're scared tonight. I'll never leave your side.
Number 5, buying a school bus. Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott.
Stormy Webster got a special surprise from dad Travis Scott, the chance to explore a whole school bus by herself.
After finding out that his very young daughter wanted to try riding a bus, Travis Scott did the logical thing. He bought her one of her own.
Telling followers that the 3-year-old has been talking about riding a big yellow bus nonstop lately, so her famous father came through with the real deal.
Kylie Jenner then posted the photos, clearly proud that they had made Stormy happy. But Jenner didn't get the response she had expected. While school buses aren't exactly a luxury vehicle, they are still expensive, and they could have just rented one.
The next pic showed Stormy standing in the aisle of the empty bus, seemingly taking in all its glory.
It was perceived by many as a way for the celebrity couple to cosplay as normies, without having to actually live like them. While it is great that they did something nice for their daughter, it wasn't interpreted as the relatable parenting moment they thought it was.
Kylie revealed in a cover story for Interview Germany that she, quote, always knew she wanted to be a young mother, and reflected on how much Stormy shifted her priorities even more than she expected.
Number 4, not having designer items while growing up. Bella Hadid.
I feel blessed that I made it out.
While being interviewed by Vogue, model Bella Hadid decided to get personal. She lamented that she never had a designer piece growing up, and how she was happier as an adult because she could buy them. This caused a collective eye roll online, with many noting that it was the definition of a first world problem.
You know, my mom wouldn't let me. I think I got my first pair of Louboutins when I graduated high school.
And while her parents may not have allowed her to get luxury shoes, it wasn't because they couldn't afford them. Her father is a successful real estate developer, and her mother was a reality star. Many fans also found it hard to sympathize when so many people have trouble affording basic necessities.
This is for you guys.
What?
It's nothing, it's just my will.
Number 3, the food stamp challenge. Gwyneth Paltrow. While celebrities highlighting injustices can help bring awareness, they sometimes go about it in the worst way possible. While doing publicity for a food bank, Gwyneth Paltrow participated in the food stamp challenge, where she'd have to stick to a weekly grocery budget.
It taught me that you cannot eat fresh, whole, affordable food if you are living at the poverty line.
Paltrow started off by buying large amounts of produce and quickly hit her limit. After a few days, she admitted to buying extra groceries and quit.
You know, people who are barely making ends meet are really not given a lot of option in what they can feed their family, and it was very eye-opening for me.
To top it all off, she celebrated ending the challenge by going to an expensive restaurant. While she may have had underlying good intentions, the execution made it clear that she wasn't aware of how people with less income actually survive.
It gave me a lot more understanding and a lot more gratitude that I can afford fresh produce and organic chicken.
Number 2, comparing life experiences. Kim Kardashian.
Are you excited to be getting married?
Totes.
After her infamous 72-day marriage, Kim Kardashian struggled with negative feelings that came with divorce.
I feel awful that I made him move out here and change his whole life, and I feel bad for him. I feel sad. I feel bad for the guy.
She discussed this during an interview and mentioned an experience that changed her outlook. She had met a young woman with cancer who told her that while it was scary, it had taught her more about herself. Kim then took the moment and centered herself, saying that the patient's emotions were similar to her own. Comparing her relationship to a deadly disease did not go over well. While she later insisted her words had been taken out of context, many weren't buying it. It was a reminder early on that the Kardashians were living in a different world than most of us.
I failed at this, and you think that I don't feel bad?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Singing Imagine, Gal Gadot and Friends.
Imagine there's no heaven.
The world was traumatized by the onset of the pandemic, with people beset by stress, worry, and hardship. So, Gal Gadot and other entertainers decided to cheer everyone up by singing a cover of John Lennon's Imagine. She claimed to have been inspired by quarantine people playing music from their balconies, but the song didn't really have the effect Gadot intended.
And the world will be as one.
Many non-celebs were acutely aware that famous stars wouldn't be able to truly understand what everyone else was going through. This admittedly well-intentioned cover version was widely criticized, with countless parodies made in response.
You don't know that other kids are starving in Japan, so eat it.
Which celebrity do you think tries a little too hard to be relatable? Let us know in the comments below.
Hey, Chef, do you want to cut this up for her?
I'll do it, Mom. It's fine.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.